I wrote to you about, I think we can solve the,
I didn't read it yet. I
Yeah.
saw you post a message, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
So just read DMX. What is DMX?
DMX is.
Oh, it's the one that Bentley posted.
Yes.
Cool.
It's a tool. It's basically a topic map database. So you can write a topic schema, and it's got real and array relations which can be addressed. I'm actually like, this is a proper topic map. Pretty impressed by that. They built it on Neo4j and Lucene. So I'm still trying to see how they, like, obviously as a layer, and obviously the links are probably Neo4j nodes. I'm not 100% about that, but I suspect strongly.
Do they have like some UI I can see?
Yeah, there's a UI. There's a UI, absolutely, and that's why I said there's a. I could show it, though I'm still figuring out some of the aspects of how it works.
All right.
But the
yeah, it sounds very relevant. Create a data model without coding skills. I mean, it's not about coding skills, it's just about quickly iterating on data models.
Yes.
It sounds relevant.
Actually, let me come in. Sign in. Share screen.
Oh, Felix is joining as well.
Yeah. And Tim can't make it. You have this screen. I'm not sure you have this screen, the one with.
I can see untitled admin folder.
Yeah, that's the one. So these are the various workspaces. This is an untitled topic map. So these are nodes. It's easy to create a link, and then it's an association. And then I can choose the association type. And to do that, what you need is a long click, and you go to details, and you go related, associated type, it's association. See, but that's not what I want. I want this thing. I don't know how edit. Yes, edit. And then I can choose different association types. And then
can you populate it? I mean, this is pre-populated, all of this, but I guess, I mean, the point is that you would start from a clean slate and you add possible nodes, possible association types, possible constraints.
And there's still a lot I don't know. Like, can I add? How do I add roles? How do I add? Can I make an array association? I'm not sure that can be done yet. I think so far what I've seen is binary associations. Though association, I can have association to association, but I expect.
What would an array be?
And like an array, like an association to many, with more than two roles, more than source and distant.
Isn't it just a matter of drawing a new link?
It's a matter of having a kind of node which is a link with many links out. I mean, of course you can model.
Yeah, but how is it different from just drawing a new link? Can you try to just draw a new link between admin and untitled?
No, it's about saying, let's say I wanted to have a node that it's a triple that would be admin, untitled, and this guy, the file root. So I would have a three, like John gives a ball to Mary. It's a relation between John, Mary, and the ball. It's not three binary links. It's a ternary association.
Probably through some composition or something that should be possible, no?
Yeah, it's possible to create a node for link and then create a node from give to John to give to
I mean,
Mary.
can't you put all of these three in predefined roles in like some type of composition node that contains three other nodes or something?
I mean, haven't seen compose nodes. What I would do is create, and I'm not even sure how to create create. Okay, so let's do it.
Because that's indeed something we would need as well. We would need it for, well, we have a fair amount of composition, right?
Right. So I can create a new, okay, let me create a node, or let me create Role type,
Hi,
association.
Felix.
Hi. How are you?
Good. I was running right now, but I'm back in cold Germany.
Oh.
It's dark and cold.
Stephen is even more north, right? It must be darker, if not cooler, because you're closer to the water.
Yeah, it gets fairly dark quickly, but today was a bright day.
Okay, was. Sorry.
You get used to it. I've been here 8 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not from there?
No, I'm from Belgium.
Oh, okay. Flemish then? Okay. You did not have a French accent. So I did use not well. No.
Exactly. Also not a Danish one.
What?
Also not a Danish accent.
Yes.
What are you looking at?
This is DMX that Bentley posted about. It's actually a proper topic map database. Seems like I'm still trying to see what it can and cannot do.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm learning how to use it, but it does definitely allow the definition of roles for an association. I'm not sure it allows n-ary associations yet, and it allows links from links.
Yeah, and I was trying to understand what n-ary associations are, but it sounded a lot like composition to me, where you have.
And n-ary is basically just in a graph for usually edges. It's two-ary, means like one edge connects two nodes. And n-ary means like one edge can connect n nodes at the same time.
But how is it different from grouping in essence? That you.
It's isomorphic, I think.
Yeah.
Just overlapping sets, if you like.
I'm not sure. It depends how you do the grouping, I guess. And yeah, I guess that's possible. In my understanding, like you would be grouping links rather than grouping nodes to do n-ary association. Or another isomorphism is create a node for the group for the n-ary association and have an arrow from that node to each target node, which works.
But that's just a mapping onto graphs, right?
Yeah.
So the whole n-ary thing is just like that's a definition of a hypergraph.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you still have the distinction between edges and nodes, but for the hypergraph, edges can connect multiple nodes.
Yeah, and this is a recursive convention. This looks like, because I haven't managed to make an n-ary edge yet, so it looks like a conventional graph, but it's a recursive graph in that you can use edges as nodes. You can have an edge to or from an edge. So it's a recursive graph, but it's a recursive
nodes
binary
is not
graph.
the same as n-ary, is it?
Recursive is not the same as n-ary.
Yes.
It's a different property.
So one says, okay, one edge can connect to arbitrary many nodes. That's the n-ary. And an edge connecting to an edge is like this recursive notion.
Yeah. How would you typically draw n-ary relations, n-ary edges?
Like a little octopus. You'd have it pretty much would end up looking like a node with you'd make the n-ary edge into a node-like structure, and then you'd have multiple arrows coming from it. The reason why I'm trying to avoid doing that is that it's because of the semantics of role. Mathematically, it's isomorphic, but the semantics of role is that the roles are given by the edge type. And if you're making the n-ary edge into a node, then you have to do more work at the ontology definition level, because you're defining each role as an arrow with two ends and then with two roles. So you're defining two roles in a relation for the price of defining when the intent is really defining one role. It is mathematically isomorphic, but it's just much more laborious.
I'm primarily thinking about visualization because, I mean, if we're going to use a tool that allows us to map these things, then I suppose it is because we need to map some actual real world data that needs to be represented as such. Then what's the best tool to represent that?
Absolutely.
Visualization is a different problem here. Like
yeah, but it's the main one I think that I propose to look at, right? I mean, it is visualization and like both modeling it and visualizing it and working on a visualization of the model at the same time. That's the type of tooling that I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand perfectly. What I would keep wanting to do is to have a half matrix, and then so you'd have the nodes on the diagonal, and if you have an n-ary edge, you could have all the implicated roles would be earlier in the matrix. You'd have to have a topological sort, and then you'd have the role at in the boxes of the row, in the cells of the row.
I think I need to see this to be able to visualize it. I can't really follow.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, yeah, it sounds to me like an what's it called? Association matrix? No.
Yeah, it's an adjacency graph. It's an association matrix.
Yeah,
exactly. Except that here I'm taking, instead of saying, oh, I'm putting a binary relations in the cell. Here I'm putting the n-ary relation in a row, and each role in the cell.
But it sounds to me like it's a collection of binary edges that one cannot do without. I mean, you need all of them.
Yeah, correct.
Along those lines.
That's exactly what an n-ary association is. It's a you're right. In that way, I said it depends how you do collection, and it's collection of edges rather than with the collection having maybe attributes and so on. Well, the edges can have attributes, but yes, it's a coherent collection of edges. Is an n-ary edge.
How I usually visualize it is thinking of each edge as an key value object. Because if you have so many edges, then usually the connected nodes have a named slot, like right, and you can think of it as the edge as a key value object pointing to other key value objects.
Yeah. So I think if we would have a tool that allows to specify an edge node type that has these 3 slots, then we're there with just a hypergraph structure that we have now, right? You draw that edge that expects 3 different roles to be filled in on that edge, and you can draw it using tools like this. No.
Well, again, I would have to create a node because I cannot. I don't see yet how I can have an edge that has.
It would be an edge that has 3 slots essentially, and all 3 slots need to be filled in.
And right now the edge has 2 slots, which is why I'm a bit unsatisfied. But I'm sure it's possible.
But all of these are like, where does the defining new types come in? I think that's what I'm more interested in, because that's what I'm lacking. I really want to be able to say.
Yes. Well, here I would create a topic type. So this, let me call
Just say claim.
Yeah, let's say claim. Sure.
Let's make it concrete.
Absolutely. Create topic type. So now I've created claim.
So now we want to say claim has some stuff. Composition definitions.
Meta type, topic map untitled, data type, meta type, topic map, view configuration. Oh, it has a view configuration. And here I'm exploring, I haven't done this.
But wait, so this is, are we defining the model now, or are we adding instances?
No. I think a meta property of the claim is it has to have a view configuration.
Yeah, but it sounds like there's 2 things, right? One is defining the model. I expect you do that in one view, and then the other one is using the model to create instances. Like
yes, absolutely.
How is this separate here?
It looks like to me that it's not. Actually.
It's not. We're creating an instance of topic type, And so we're doing the meta model in the model space. Now, normally I would probably create a new
separate workspace. Yeah.
A separate workspace for that, yes. And I'm still trying to learn how to do workspaces, right? Like this is a workspace. Edit, hide details. But I don't, okay, let me actually create a new workspace.
It's funny, it looks like the visualization and the circular menus and everything looks exactly like Woost in the beginning. Very interesting.
Okay, so now I've created, that's interesting. I've created the meta type. Okay, and now let me search for claim. And now I've added claim to my meta. And let me go back to untitled. And then let me hide claim. But hide doesn't seem to be persistence, I've noticed. When I do a reload, let me do a reload now. It seems to, oh no, wow, it worked. Incredible. Last time I did it, it wasn't persistent.
And where can you find these hidden nodes now?
With a search.
And what's the difference between hide and delete here? I'm also not certain on that.
No, hide means hide from the view, from the top, from the view.
But so like all workspaces share the same topic, so what? And then you just visualize a subset in each workspace. Correct. Yeah.
Correct. But I think it's also possible to have each workspace has topic, but you have multiple workspaces. So let me try actually to create a new workspace. Can I create a workspace? Yes, I can create a workspace. Create workspace. And I've created a new workspace, which presumably has its own. Now let me look for claim. It's still there. Damn,
you don't want, it's a global. So now you want to instantiate claim. How do you do that?
Well, what I would do, let me go back to the untitled. Let me create a new thing. Claim one. And it is
topic type claim.
No, it's create claim. So yeah, it's and then I can let's go back to the DMX. No, sorry, to meta. And let me create opposes. This is an association type. And let me create.
So can you then filter in one workspace all the available association types and claims that you can say this workspace only supports claims?
I don't know that. I'm exploring as we go, right?
Yeah, I'm also missing this schema definition.
Yeah, right. I mean, it seems to work with separate workspaces. Maybe it's a feature that you can even mix them if you want to, but
association.
So yeah, like for example, I would say no, that the association in its general form shouldn't be allowed. Like the only association from claim to claim is opposes. Is that an option?
1 second. I'm still trying to get that to edit. Related meta. Where's the edit again? Association type opposes.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's part of the issue. You really want your.
Yeah, no, I know you want constraints. I agree totally. Where is the constraint? Well, I think I still need to read the documentation. Right now, I did enough to install it. And by the way,
but can you quickly try to see whether you can find any constraints in the? I did see some constraint options in the in your claim topic type.
Let me check quickly in the doc, because frankly,
it shouldn't be. I mean, these I would expect to be core features.
Yeah, they're core features, but that doesn't mean they're easy to find. It's seriously. graphical modeling, read more, learn more, video tutorial, forum, workshops, DMX uses content authoring, working with modeling, introduction to model, creating a simple topic type, creating a composite topic type. Okay, so it can have creating association types, creating a role type. And by the way, lines, direct search for associations still a planned feature, creating a composite association type. So you can add data, obviously. Oh, that's interesting. Organization involvement, organizational role. This might be an area thing. I really need to understand the composites.
Entity. That's this key value store I was talking about, like for person, for example. And that's probably also this NRE edge. Right, it has many slots that you can fill.
Yeah, if you then have an edge like that that has slots, it sounds very similar to me. That would work to model it.
Person, person name, first name, last name. Huh.
What I always find interesting is that it's basically just entity relationship modeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You define an entity relationship model and then you want to fill it with data quickly. So maybe that's also a good keyword to search for, just interactive database builders. And there was the one I posted, the Fibri, that's one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't mention graph or anything at all, but it's like I think you build entity relationships and then you can have different visualizations for these data models. So it's worth looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to reactivate my Boost 3 prototype.
Search results are presented.
What are you looking for?
Constraints still.
But maybe there's
I saw a constraint in the if you go back to the meta view. Can you? Yeah, I mean it's going to be here, right? If it has constraint, can you edit? Related meta.
Composite entity.
And then you need to know what these different data types are.
I think
I saw constraints somewhere before while you were browsing.
No, but I think I'm getting an intuition. If let's say I have
restrict by.
No, that's a search.
Here.
That's a search restriction. Search for blah blah blah.
Oh,
no, what text, create a topic type, and then let me composition definition.
Because it's an entity now.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow it modeled that as a.
Except it should be the other way around. Delete. Yes. That sounds better. I had to draw the arrow in reverse of where it's going, which is really confusing. Okay, the edit is weird. Details.
You broke it.
Yeah. Topic type, composition definition, one text. Okay, related, meta. And this, I hope it's data type text, good. So now if I go back to the non-meta, claim one, edit, and I can put the text.
It's also a bit weird, the nodes have names. I mean, it already seems a bit like molding to me.
Claims, constraints. That's a claim, whether it's true or not. Oh.
No, but this is the text of the node, not of the text that you defined, I think. Or is it? Maybe it is.
Let me create a new one. Because the first one were created while the claim was still not an entity. Ah, here it contains. Can I? Yes. Claim. See, those were created before and it was not an entity yet.
And it doesn't help with like saying your model is corrupt, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is also problematic.
Yes. Oh, look. Funny, it's as if that claim no, I'm not sure this worked. Config. What is this config I can't access? I'm here as admin.
Knowledge building platform.
I should have used something different than text in the meta. Call this claim text. I know it's clearly the inside. So the fact that it displays that is almost accidental. Actually, let me search for claim. Yeah, claim 4 still exists. Whoops. Now I'm totally confused. Claim 3. Claim 3 is still there. It's as if I created new. Woo.
Yeah, I don't think the tool is designed with system modeling in mind. It's really more of like an information mapping tool. So they want to be very supportive, and you can draw any link between any data. That's their goal. So I don't think in that sense. I don't think in that sense it fits what we're looking for.
It doesn't fit that, but it fits.
It depends how you want to work with it. Like,
well,
if
so
it's
the goal,
like if you want to have soft constraints, for example.
No, but I want, if there's soft constraints, I want to model soft constraints. If constraints are broken, they should be highlighted in red and show here your model is not consistent. So for model building, this won't work, because the whole point is not to have an overly flexible dynamic model, because then, I mean, you need to model it and then try to use the model and then feel the limitations of the model. That's exactly what you need to iterate on models. If you can just draw arrows between everything, then I mean,
yeah, of course. I'm just saying
more like a whiteboard.
Soft constraints are fine if there are highlights for model violations. Yeah.
So this doesn't do what I had in mind, but the UI otherwise looks fairly okay.
Yeah, the thing is, like, once you go to NRE, then graph visualizations don't scale so well, especially if you have many nodes. Like in the UI wise for like 5 to 10 nodes, it's fine, but if you go bigger, then it's just confusing.
Yeah, you need subviews and filters and search and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You need some basic UI to traverse the graph.
Yeah, I'm also wondering if maybe you don't need a graph visualization at all, and maybe everything can just be like navigating these key value stores I was talking about.
Could work as well.
Yeah. Like really have this relational aspect to it, like navigating tables, basically.
Oops. So I think I've seen enough to remove this one as an option, even though it does some things right.
It does quite a few things right. I think I'll explore a bit deeper because there's a few things I really like there. As I said, the meta links are interesting to me as a topic map tool. Now, I agree that as a meta modeling tool, maybe it's not ideal. What was the meta modeling tool your current favorite? Maybe you should show it now. I think this is a good use of this session.
Are you asking Stephen or me?
Felix, you.
Oh, okay.
I was asking both of you. I was asking.
I don't have any favorites anymore.
Yeah. So first of all, I just reactivated my Woost 3 experiments. I don't know if you had a look at it, Stephen.
Ages ago, when I first met you.
No,
that's Woost 2.
That was Woost 2.
Oh.
And now because once I thought about, okay, we need this modeling tool to test our models. I was really thinking hard about how to build something like this, and I built a small prototype.
No, I haven't seen it. I think
I can show.
I don't think I've seen it. You've shown me the code, but you haven't shown me.
No,
I haven't seen this.
So, yeah, it's basically just that's just an NRE data model. Super simple. Wait, let me show you the data model. So it is.
That's the part I have seen.
Yeah. So it basically consists of, let's see. Yeah, I try to build versioning in there from the beginning, but it's basically just a binding, which is like a key value pair. And bindings are connecting literals, which are just like strings, basically. And this all forms a hypergraph. Let's see what it is. Like a new literal, for example, would be I don't know, Felix, and yeah, whatever. Then I can put attributes. I don't know, country, Germany, and so on. The interesting thing is that I don't know. The interesting thing is that everything can act as a new topic. For example, the key here could act as a new topic, or the value could act as a new topic, or even
instance. Or
I'm sorry.
I'm confused whether this is an instance. So now you.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
this is a bit like
this is not about. Wait, this is not about schema modeling yet, but it's in the idea. I didn't implement it yet, though.
Because now it looks a bit like JSON, right? Except that when you click country, what actually happens?
Then country is focused. Like everything gets everything resides in the same ID space.
Okay, so you have a recursive. Yeah, so it's a bit like JSON,
and you said
but
even
you can
the arrow is an object, right?
Exactly. Even I can click even the arrow, so the key value pair itself is also
the
same ID space.
So it's a key value store where all keys are objects and all values are objects, and all relations between keys and values are objects.
Exactly.
Yep.
And yeah, for values, the UI doesn't exist yet, but values could be other topics then. Keys could be other topics, and like everything can be like really packed together. So it's a very powerful modeling concept. And what I wanted to do, let's wait, I want to find the right, because this is the implemented model. Yeah, right. Okay, but it doesn't communicate the idea. Schemas. And what I wanted to do as a schema concept is basically saying, okay, since I have this notion of topic and everything can be a topic can be validated by a schema. It can point to another topic that acts as a template or schema for it. And that way you can create arbitrary models, like, for example, say you create a claim, and a claim can support other claims and so on. You model that in this UI. And then these are exactly the same contracts. So the data also acts as the schema. And then you can have instances of claims, which is nothing else than a new topic that says, okay, I want to be validated against a claim. And then the UI has to highlight where it doesn't match the structure of the claim, basically, and all its connected entities. Does that make sense?
Like, yeah, but I can't visualize how you will include that here, because you don't have that yet, right?
I don't have that yet. Yeah, it's like the basic UI.
So you would define, I mean, so what I'm looking at here can both be, I'm a bit confused what a topic is right now.
Everything is a topic.
Okay,
let's look at the data model. Like, the topic is a trait here, or an interface, and it has this topic ID, and everything.
Yeah, like, just data.
It's just data, yeah.
Okay, but so this data can both be used just as data to actually store that you live in Germany, and what does it mean if this becomes a schema type? Does that mean that there's a type Felix that has to always?
Yeah, let's say I say claim, and the claim has a, I don't know,
text,
content or whatever. And then wait, I'm not that deep into this anymore. Like, it was like half a year ago.
But basically, you'd have to first say that claim, you'd have a meta class type to say that claim is a schema. And then you'd have to say for each.
No, actually, I don't mark it as a schema. I'm just having a new edge that says, okay, now I want to create a claim or whatever.
No, but first you're creating the claim schema. I thought this was the claim schema.
Yeah, that was the claim schema, exactly.
Okay,
but like, so I don't say explicitly that this is a schema, because schemas are also data.
Right, of course, but okay, so you're not worried about the type, but it's basically what I'm thinking is when you create a claim, a claim instance, you would say has schema claim, and then there's all the logic of that. But then probably on the claim you would have has schema meta class, or
Yeah, then you have like kind of inheritance.
But how
no, that's not inheritance. That's the meta model.
Did you? Okay, you were talking about the claim instance. Yeah, right. The claim instance has an arrow to this claim
to the claim, this, which is a claim schema. But I'm saying there's also the meta level where claim has schema arrow to the meta class schema, so that there's a constraint on schema structure given by the meta class schema.
Exactly.
And how do you model all of that? Are those like things that you would also model using these new bindings, or?
So what I would tend to do from all, right? Because I'm used to all, and I don't think it's profoundly different, is if it's for each, you would say that each schema, okay, so claim has a schema instance. So it's got a bunch of binding descriptions, and the binding description will say, okay, here's for this binding name, you want constraints.
Yeah, okay, but so you would differentiate between schemas and data in contrast to what Felix is trying to do here.
No,
how do you know it's a schema or not? And how do you know bind everything you said? How do you know it's
it's the target of the has schema binding. It would be, I would have the has
so
schema.
the has schema binding is something hard coded special.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
yeah. For mine, think more of it not as schemas, but more like templates. Like use this other data as a template to validate my data.
Okay, and then how do you know what to do with text here? So, okay, it needs to have a key content. I can follow that, but then what about text?
That's what I was unsure about, because like I didn't touch this code since half a year.
Well, literal is a topic, right? Is a subclass of topic.
Yeah.
So pure text can be a topic. Yeah.
You probably want, I was more hinting at like the entity relationship structure when we, for example, have supports, and then I would, it's not possible, but I would insert this topic ID of this claim in here as a value, basically. So but that's right now topic, because when I put something,
and then
in this
you
field,
still need multiplicities and all that stuff, right?
I mean, cardinalities, exactly. Yeah, I thought about that as well.
So, I mean, I think you'll need to add a lot.
Yeah, like I don't have time to implement this, but like the data structure underneath supports all the features we're looking for.
No, but that's what I'm questioning. Because I think I'm missing a whole lot more data structure to make something like this work. Like, because where indeed will you fit in the multiplicities, like constraints of 1 versus 3, and are they then different?
Here, cardinality, for example, in the binding. It's interesting. The binding is like the key value pair. The key value pair says, okay, this binding can appear 10 times or whatever. Probably you want even a min-max cardinality at some point. And then you can validate against these. Like this will obviously only make sense if this binding is used as a schema or as a template. And then you can do that. Yeah, like my goal here was like I was thinking about, okay, what's the simplest data model to model what we're looking for? Yeah.
What I intend to do is to have a binding description object and then have min cardinality, max cardinality, possible type as attributes, like bindings on that binding description object.
Which is also possible, yeah, sure. Like I didn't think, like this is just like, this is not even the code that's used here.
Yeah. This is just
example.
But the basic idea of everything's a topic and bindings are topics, that's I'm still happy with. It's close to my intuition in many ways. I'm implementing it a bit differently, but it's close to my intuition. But the question is, do we, and here's a real question, is that something we need for our, what we're talking about right now is building our meta model. You know, what's a claim, what's this, what's that?
Yeah.
Can we do we need recursive hypergraphs for our meta model or just for our, you know, as part of the model? So I'm a bit.
Probably just as part of the model, because the meta model is a entity relationship diagram.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Wait, I don't mean, I'm not talking about us needing a tool to model a model. I want a tool that allows us to model the model and use it what is modeled. That's where the power comes from. Otherwise, I mean, just implement it. The whole point is to be able to more quickly iterate on models.
The point, true, but it's also true that sometimes it's easier to draw a model, like write UML and discuss it before writing code.
But we did that in the plant UML, and I mean the whole point. You remember the discussions that we said like, oh, but what are the constraints, and this is a valid model? I mean, that's where you need to have an instance diagram to go with it in order to actually validate the model. You need an instance diagram. And you need an instance diagram that forces you to follow the model that you supposedly claim can model the instances.
I understand. what you're saying. The plant UML, I think one of the issues with plant UML was not collaborative.
Well, the UI sucks.
The UI
it's non-interactive.
No, exactly. It's a generation. It's a quick thing, and that's why we were looking at Fiber. All these other tools, right? So that we could. Didn't I create a Conversance? I created an account in Fibery, I think. Let me check.
Yeah, what
Fibery is this an entity relationship?
Yeah, I think it is. Let's see. I never touched it. I only.
It's like a low-code tool.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, I did create an account. There's a Conversance Fibery.
Where do I
project tracking, meeting notes, people, upgrade search, new space.
No, new project. Okay. Project test fields.
Timeline, calendar, table, board, document. I'm not convinced.
Let's say this is a fields, text, field name, content. Oops.
I think this is very task oriented. It's not data modeling oriented.
No. Wait. It's like,
okay.
That was one of our main competitors. We researched it quite well when we were building Boost in the beginning. So, and then I do a relation to.
Yeah, it looks more like a work item management tool that's extendable.
Yeah, like that they did it because like they did it like this because many people who want to do no-code stuff, they're not used to databases. They want to have like a lot of
yeah, but it's specifically focusing on project management, a bit like Monday or like any of the work item trackers out there.
I wanted to I just wanted to create a recursive relation, like a claim can support another claim. But I have this content field here.
Yeah, Lucidchart is supposed to have ER diagrams. Again, that's just diagram, but at least it's collaborative.
Is that possible?
Yeah, the editor isn't that great. I mean, it works, but and it doesn't have any constraint matching or.
No, I know, but at least it's collaborative. I mean, I'm not saying it's the full solution, but right now we have nothing. So the question is, what can we have that's almost good enough?
Look, for example, they have templates, and these are entity relationship models here that they show. So, but I'm trying to figure out how to get to that editor. For example, discourse. And they're syncing basically other content into these entity relationship models. It's pretty powerful. I don't know if I can. No, I don't want to integrate. Okay, I guess I have to look at template, but these are templates, but I don't want to sync it. Templates in space. Okay. New data. Okay. New database. Claim. Where is it claim? the field. There we go. Content. And then when I say relations claim, can have a relation to another claim.
Database ER diagram, UML notation.
What's this? It's two types.
Yeah, Lucid Chart is purely a drawing tool.
Yeah, so this is also dynamic.
I don't know. Is anybody talking about the sun is flat, by the way?
No,
what?
Interesting. I haven't heard that.
Look here, I can do these relations and like.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the backlink. Interesting. Okay. And
okay.
Yeah, I can create new. I don't know what else do we have. New database user, whatever. Now I have claims and users. It's really like a ER builder, and then you can directly fill them with data.
Interesting that there's relations. Of course, the relation is, yeah.
Can you add more claims?
Probably. There was some.
Yeah, it seemed to.
You have to add a new row, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, and these both have the backlink here.
So where did you define the relation?
I said relations, and then you can. I think it can even do hierarchies. I know that's a many-to-many relationship. That's a one-to-many relationship, and a one-to-many. Okay, it's the cardinalities. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. This qualifies as a. You don't have the visualization of the thing, but you.
There should be.
Well, they use tables, right?
Yeah, I mean, table.
No, but there's no visualization of the struct of the. That's a visualization of the data, not of the metadata of the model. You see, it's a visualization of the instance, not of the model. That's
well,
okay.
The model is the top row essentially.
It should. I don't know. It's strange because like when you look at the templates, for example, they have this visualization, so it should be somewhere. Like this is not created by hand; it's automatically generated.
I wouldn't swear on that.
Table
Maybe it is created by hand.
Calendar report. Okay. Cards are claims and columns are what they're connected to. Yeah. It's quite powerful. So that's one visualization. Like when I put this in here. No. Okay. Yeah, whatever. So they have visualizations that you can configure. Lists, reports. Do we?
Are relations nodes by themselves? It's a quite essential question. Can they be?
Sorry, question again. What did you say?
Can the association, like the claims column here, can you attach data to the association?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, in the worst case, you have to do this N to M relation in between tables. So you basically would have a support table. No, wait.
Yeah, but then it loses the power of what we want to do essentially. So I do think what we're looking for is something graph editor-ish.
Why does it lose the power? I mean, when I create new database and say, okay, this is supports, and then it's the fields.
And then you need extend. I mean, you need polymorphism here, and then I mean, you essentially. I know how to store polymorphism in tables. I know how to do. I know how to store many-to-many in relational databases, but that's. I also know that we have tools that visualize that because you don't want to browse that manually, and that's essentially what this is. So, I think we need something tailored more to a hypergraph visualizer / editor / type definer.
You know, here's what I'm going to propose. I think that we're trying too much to do something that does everything. I think that something very visual oriented for the diagrams themselves, like whether plant-UML.
Well, the DMX is already way better than what we've been using in past.
Or DMX, I was going to say, or DMX, very much. And for the constraints, and we're programmers, let's code and let's play with code and let's, like I did say, you know, in the note I sent you in the PM, it's like, we've found it a bit difficult to, like, consensus is hard work and we're finding consensus difficult. But if we're each doing our code project, like consensus is not a goal. I mean, it's public insight is a goal, but working in public so we can share insights from one another is a goal. And being able to say, oh yeah, but I can't do this with that system is a goal. But being able to say, you know, I'm trying this out and this is where it leads me. We can each do our own thing and we'll be able to get the constraints by writing code. We can refer to diagrams, but we'll understand the limitations. Like asking a tool to do that for us, I don't think it's necessary. We're waiting for a perfect tool that will exist. Let's write the code and share the code. Each of us.
Yeah, I don't have honestly much time to do this.
Fair enough, but but on the other hand, you have written something.
Okay, I'm done.
But, I mean,
your part.
Socrates runs as well, right? I mean,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
And a lot of when I talk of contextual versus standalone claims, I mean, that comes from somewhere and that it's something that I want to support.
So I think what I'd like to see is what impact will that have on the Socrates data model and have that conversation. And so
data model,
yeah,
I think it makes almost most sense to see the impact on the UI, because remember that it's all intent based.
Fair enough. Listen, whatever is your point of comfort. Like my point of comfort is diagrams. Your point of comfort is UI. Fine, let's do both.
Diagrams are UI. Oh, you mean meta diagrams?
Yes.
I think meta diagrams are only useful if you can test them. Because many of the discussions when we were doing the plant UML stuff, I mean, a lot of the discussions was that there's no constraint modeling whatsoever. And then it's, oh yeah, but you shouldn't just initialize that model in that way. Remember we had a lengthy discussion about that?
Yep. So no, and I need to translate my diagrams to code also. But what I'm saying is I'm not at the point where I'll have UX for a long time. So what I'll show you is the code of the underlying data model and the diagrams of the data model, and the code will have the constraints.
Yeah. But regardless, I'm still interested in iterating on actual functioning. I mean, yeah, one way is implementing it.
Yeah.
The common visualization to all of these is we do have this general notion we all need a hypergraph. So why isn't there a hypergraph editor out there that allows to, I mean, that's what is missing, and that's what we were looking for. I still think that's valid.
I think so too. And DMX is the closest I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it comes very close. And I think if we do some more actual instance diagrams and stuff like that, DMX definitely would be a step up from the.
Yes. And so I totally encourage you, PM me a desired username password so that I can create accounts for you. And it's actually, it uses LDAP. So I had to not only to install DMX, but LDAP and an LDAP UX and everything on my server to be able to do this. But I've done it. So now I just give me a username password and I'll enter you in my LDAP and you'll have you'll have access to my DMX instance.
I'm mostly arguing that we should not say, okay, because we need hypergraphs, we should overlook all these database modelers because it's isomorphic. That's my main argument here. Like when we're modeling, because we said, okay, the end-to-end relation, like, okay, we need another table for that. Yes, because we want to connect stuff to it. We want this.
So what you're saying is let's use a traditional ER modeler.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Listen,
I'm all for that as well if it supports a graph view. I mean, the point is I'm looking for a more easily editable graph view.
Graph view of the data or of the model, or both?
Well, if you modify the graph, you modify the data, right?
No, I'm asking, like, are you looking for it? Because you can have a diagram as the ER diagram, or you can have graph visualization of the data.
I want an ER diagram that's linked to an instance diagram editor that's ideally visualized as graphs. But yes, table views will also be relevant.
And
that's what I'm looking for.
I'm saying that the graph visualization is not that important because it only works for like very small examples. It doesn't scale.
Yeah. So you need to be able to render subsets. Exactly. You can't show entire databases in graphs. I know that. That's one of the main reasons Socrates is in the graph view.
Yeah, which is another property of DMX that way. I mean, you create these views, right? I don't think all of us using the same tool is an absolute constraint. All of us should be able to understand and manipulate what other people are doing on their preferred tools. But I think there's no perfect tool. There's many tools that allows us to do part of what we are doing, use them as talking points rather than hope that all the modeling will be done in one tool, because there's no tool that I know that allows that.
Yeah, but the idea is if there's no tool that allows that, that's what we apply for funding for.
Fair enough.
That's why we started.
Yeah. Fine. That's also good. Okay, folks, we're past the hours. Are we? I don't know if we have consensus on next steps.
I'm gonna have a look at more entity relationship modeling tools.
Okay.
And then if not, I mean, yeah, we can definitely start using DMX in some of the workshops, whatever you want to call it.
Okay,
I think it's a step up, but I'm trying to just scope what is out there right now.
Yeah.
So we've discussed two today, and neither of these two are really what I have in mind.
It's cool, and that's good work. I agree. I would like to not totally give up. I understand you were fed up with the discussions, but I think we're actually close to closing important things, and I'd like to resume.
Well, I'm fed up with discussing the difference between contextual and standalone claims, because yes, that's at this point, I think there's nothing left to say about that.
Yeah, I've tried. I've made an attempt at tweaking the vocabulary, the distinctions and vocabulary that I hope is closer to what you have intent. I'll put it in PM, and I'm willing to spend time discussing that if you want. But I think I think we could achieve something, and go to the next step.
With the glossary, you mean, right?
Yeah.
The whole glossary process.
I mean, we can definitely continue the glossary. I'm just saying we shouldn't be stuck on this standalone context stuff.
Yep, I agree.
Standalone claim is fairly essential because it.
No, but not being stuck on it does mean achieving consensus, which means pushing through some of these painful discussions a bit more, because I think the reality is we are actually aligned. We just need to align on how we say things rather than align on the conceptual or distinction stuff. I think we agree on the substance. We just have to align our vocabularies, which should be fairly minor.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's what I left with last time.
I mean, a next step could be that rather than discussing it, just try to write a cohesive definitions that you think fits, right?
Yeah, and I did that, and it's in your PM.
It's a bit short.
It's a bit short. Yeah, okay, I'll elaborate, but I mean, I will elaborate if you tell me that you feel I haven't missed anything essential. And that's something that can happen offline on PM.
Yeah, I'm still wondering which role I will play in the glossary, because I never had a strong opinion, you realized, because I was very silent in the discussions. If you think it's worth it that things go through my brain, then
that's interesting. And actually, I was going to say to you, my last hyper-knowledge seminar Friday, I realized that the question of claim ordering and scoring has actually become important to me. So that's actually a discussion I want to have.
Of course, yeah.
And I think that's something where you will probably have more to contribute.
Yeah, I'm more interested, and also probably have more more abilities in using a finished argumentation model as a tool, and then build stuff around it.
I understand.
The whole collective intelligence approaches.
I understand.
Yeah. So all
duly noted.
reporting, and how it all fits together to build collective intelligence. That's more what I'm working on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try. I think having a meta discussion tomorrow about what our short-term and long-term goals is actually a very good use of our collective time.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow again. It's useful, I think.
Yeah, okay.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.